Hello class. All right, let's talk about this next project that we're going to do with line. And I thought it would be easy for me to do a video talking about the project as if you were in class, or giving more detail, because sometimes, to be honest with you, words aren't always easy to explain everything. Sometimes a little bit of voice, a little bit of hand gestures, or even doing some visuals up here. So let's start off with, when you are in milestone 2, line, we're going to come down here. It says line presentation and quiz. And we're going to keep coming down, scrolling down till we get to line project sculpture part 1. Now there are 2 parts to the line project. Part 2 is not sculptural. It is very flat. It's a rendering, and it's the introduction to texture, meaning hatching, cross-hatching, and stippling. But for the line project sculptural, this is what we're going to focus on. I have here project video walkthrough and explanation. That's, pretty much that's where this video is going to be in. And then right here I have the line project sculptural instructions. That's the writing. And then we have some visual instructions. That's just pictures. And I'm going to go through that. And then we just have the line project part 1 submission. That is just where you turn it in. And you're going to turn in a JPEG photograph, just one, of your sculptural piece. And you will see what I mean as I go through these parts. Okay, class, so we're going to go ahead and click right here where it says Line Project Sculptural Instructions. Now, let's see if I can actually make the text a little bit bigger. Here we go. All right, so the line project, part 1. This part is where you are going to construct physically. I don't want to say, well, you can almost say, imagine a drawing that is physical, that comes up and becomes physical. This is what this project will be about. You will use strips of paper of different thicknesses, and you will be gluing them down on paper. Some of them will be rectilinear lines, and some of them will be curvilinear lines. So let's take a look here. But this is just just the writing part. So I just want to get the text out of the way, and then you're going to understand a little more of what I'm talking about as I go into the visual part. Okay? Your grade is based on your ability to follow the format constraints, which is 4 inches by 4 inches with a 2-inch border. Now in here I did say your curvilinear, rectilinear construction. But for us, we're going to combine the two. We're going to do curvilinear and rectilinear. Okay? And so the overall is going to be 8-inch by 8-inch. So students are to construct a high relief design using various strips of Bristol. You can cut small, large. You're going to be combining curvilinear and rectilinear strips together, and with various widths. And like it says here, the purpose of the project is for students to associate the physical experience of what is curvilinear and rectilinear to the implied visual experience of a two-dimensional plane. So let's talk about this, right? Here we have some examples already. You can kind of see already right in here. And that's just a little like a poster of like the overall brief of the project. But let's head back here. Let's go back one step. All right. So that's just the writing right in there. The instructions written down. Let's look at the visuals. Okay, so here's just a visual walkthrough of the line project part 1. Okay, so part 1 is dimensional, and what you see here is a lot of rectilinear pieces and a few curvilinear pieces out in the back here. Here's some curvilinear pieces right here. And what I want you to take notice of is that there are varying widths and lengths. It's not all the same width of a strip of Bristol paper. You want to give variety. And when you give variety, it makes the work much more interesting to look at and experience. And I stress this over and over again, line variety. Line variety is the gateway for you to understand variety in all the other fields, whether it be sculptural, fabrics, color, shape, variety of shape. Too much uniformity. Yes, you create harmony with uniformity, but too much of it, it becomes boring. We become bored. So variety is the thing to always be keeping in mind. All right, so we're going to start off with your Bristol metal ruler, your X-Acto blade, and you will construct. Okay, here's some more examples. Yep, I have that in there. So basically, what are you going to need? This, a healing pad, metal ruler, Bristol paper, a blade, and you're going to need an adhesive as well, which would be the glue tape, or some of you might have actual rubber cement. Again, we have rectilinear and then we have curvilinear. But look at this piece, right? This piece has a lot of nice variety of thicknesses of line, which is really nice, right? So let's come down here. So you're going to cut your Bristol sheet and you're going to have it 8 inches by 8 inches, one sheet that way. You're going to cut another one where you're going to have a hole or a square. In other words, you're making a frame. All right? And this is what you should have before you begin your project. Pretty much a frame and a backing. You're going to be gluing your pieces on this backing and then covering it with the frame. So what I like to do is I like to make just very lightly with pencil, like these little dots, like 3 dots and 3 dots, just so that I know where the border is, where the frame is going to go down. Please don't get your pencil and draw a straight line coming down and onto the right here. Just keep it very light. You can barely see it, but there are some dots in there. All right? Make a mark with a pencil on all 4 corners and even in the middle. That's what you're doing. Again, right there. Instead of rubber cement, you may use double-sided permanent bond glue tape, which is what I asked you guys to get. This is double-sided, it's a double-sided dispenser. Okay? What you're going to see in these photographs is me actually using rubber cement, which it is better, it is stronger, but you need to know how to use it. If you're going to use rubber cement, you just got to keep in mind that rubber cement is best used as a dry mount, which means when you put rubber cement down on 2 surfaces, it's best to let them dry, and when they're dry, as soon as they touch, that's it. The bond is there. Right? The bond is there. So just keep that in mind. Here you have the project. You can see that I've already put down these dots, and what I've done is I've laid out the glue all around, and then I started cutting my strips. Now you don't need to be laying the glue down just yet because it is a little too early for that. But I've cut down the strips. Look at the strips, right? Yes, you can do strips that are just straight across, really thin, medium, and thick. And yes, you can do strips that kind of start off thick and end in a point. But do not do strips that curve like this or anything like that. Keep them as straight lines because you're going to physically be doing the curving and the bending, as you see right here. Right? We've glued down the strips in here and we're curving them. And this is kind of how your pieces are going to look like. Now, if you want to do a bend, let's suppose, you see right here how I did a little bend here, like for my rectilinear piece. What you want to do is something called scoring. When you score, like what's happening here, so you get your ruler, you place it on your strip, and then you get your blade, and what you're doing is you're just lightly scratching the surface. You're not cutting through. Do not cut through. You just want to lightly scratch the surface, so then it's very easy for you to just boop, do that to it. Okay? What if I want to bend my angled strip? Well, you can just cut one side, just like this, and then you can bend it and glue it right there. So this is one way. Now this is just the basic instructions on how to do bends, but of course you can do angled bends, multiple bends. You know, it's up to you. You need to play around, experiment, right? Over here I did an angled bend, so this is what happens, and maybe you might have to cut that piece off. Here's an example of rectilinear, no curves in this one, and the student did a lot of different cuts and bends. I really like this one, and I like this one. It is like a basic star, right, or a crinkle, if you will. But look at the variety, and just this piece being very large and thick really helps to see all these smaller pieces. It makes them all stand out, and it doesn't look as boring. Same thing here, a very nice thick curved strip of paper with these little thin ones. They almost look like public art sculptures or even architectural buildings. Yes, you may do this where it comes right out, and and if when you glue your pieces down, you don't need to glue both ends down. But you could see the frame around it, and you can see that you are gluing on the inside. Very nice pieces. A lot of these pieces are very beautiful. I think sometimes students are surprised by what they can actually make with something very simple. And it's problem solving. I'm giving you the problem right now, and this is what you must solve. How to make something interesting that has curvilinear and rectilinear. I'm asking you to combine them, even though you are looking at these projects where they have actually made them exclusive. Like this is just only rectilinear, and this one is just only curvilinear. But I'm asking you guys to go ahead and put them together and mix them up. Okay, so let's go back. When you click here, Line Project Video Walkthrough, I have right in here the demo video 1 for Line Project, and the demo video 2, and the demo video 3. So basically what's happening here is, let me just go ahead and click video number 2. So what's happening here, and I can put a little bit of the sound, and dynamics means that you're adding complexity, that you're making your project. I don't exactly complete a whole project, but I do work through many parts of it, just to give you guys an idea of like how is it going to be when you're making this, to give you like a hands-on, like I'm actually demoing the project right here. So you can even see here, how do I go ahead and do angled cuts to fold this, and how do I glue it in, or what are some tips and to do that. Okay, so these are some of the demo walkthrough videos that I would like for you guys to also see, to give you more information or a better grasp of the project. But for the most part, I want you to play in a good way, like Gadamer, the philosopher, says. It's serious play. Playing with the rules, which is line variety, having curvilinear and rectilinear combined together. You have your construct, which is, an 8x8, and you're going to be making your design within 4 inches by 4 inches. All right, let's go ahead and so this is all going to be in here under Line Project Video Walkthrough Explaining. And this video also will be in there. So I hope this helps a little bit, because like I said, I can write as much as I can or as little as I can, and I can put up pictures as much as I can or as little as I can. But unless I'm putting the missing ingredient, which is me myself talking with you, with you guys and kind of trying to give you an idea of what this is, I find it won't be as effective. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions about the project, part 1, let me know. And I will be posting up soon some more walkthroughs of part 2. Okay? All right, everybody. Have a great day.